Hello again, everybody, and welcome to episode 29 of the Board Game Nerds podcast. I am your host, Nick, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Ayub.
Hello.
Ayub, man, how's life? You've been playing some cool games lately, right?
Yeah. It's been changing up a bit.
Yeah.
Living up to the goals we did in the New Year's resolution episode.
They're actually going pretty well, I will say, for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same for me as well.
Really, I did not expect that to happen. Today, we bring you an interesting topic. We were usually going to do our 3x3, but we've mutually decided, and after hearing some feedback from you as well, that we will be kind of stopping that for now, because whenever we select a list for the 3x3 to play, we're always stressed and ending up not managing to play the games or being stressed over it and, locking on those games and not really enjoying it. So for now, we'll be switching it up a little bit. We'll be putting something else in the third episode slot of the month, and we'll see how it goes. We're always open to feedback here, Instagram, email, and we are up to you. What we're going to discuss today is campaign and legacy games.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see what they are. We're going to compare them. We're going to talk about the ones we played or we want to play. And and that's because we are actually playing one right now. And this is the one we will be talking about, kind of like what we did last week with Sparks. And the game we will be discussing is Aeon's End, Legacy of Gravehold.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, we will give you an overview of how Aeon's End, the game, is played. All right? Anything to add, you?
No, I think you put it perfectly there. Like you said, we talk legacy and campaign and like what's the pros and cons also with some of them. And like you said, what we played, but also what are we actually playing currently together. We're also playing one other campaign style game and stuff like that. And what are we playing individually? I'm not the biggest legacy and campaign person, where Nick has played way more. So it's also, we thought, interesting to have two people that come from a little bit of a different background with that talking into. So that's that.
All right. So let's get started with Aeon's End Legacy. Generally, I will explain the rules for Aeon's End, and they apply to Aeon's End Legacy and Aeon's End Legacy of Gravehold. Aeon's End is a cooperative deck-building boss battling game in which every player will get control of a mage, and they will try and fight a different boss each time. When you play the normal Aeon's End, you take any of the bosses you have available through the base game, through expansions, through the legacy games, and then you also select a mage. Your mage will have a starting deck, usually consisting of the classic deck builder cards, the cards that let you buy, and then the cards that let you deal damage in this, and then 1, 2, or 3 unique cards depending on what character you have. In addition, they will have 2 to 4 breaches, depending on, again, what mage you're playing, and those breaches are the thing you have in order to play your spells on. It will make much more sense once I explain the game. The unique thing about Aeon's End, and what takes it apart from a regular deck builder, is you never shuffle your deck. And that's a bit trippy the first few times you play it. Whenever your deck is out and you want to reshuffle back, instead of reshuffling, you simply flip it over and you put it back into your deck slot. That means that how and when you play your cards can be very strategic. The main concept is you must take down the boss, and you can do that in one of 2 ways. First, you can deplete its hit points. Every boss has a number of hit points, and when you play spells that damage it, you lower the hit points. The second thing is a boss has a big deck of cards, and if the deck ever runs out, you win. The cards, though, scale. They start from level sometimes 0, the level 1, level 2, level 3, and the level 3 cards are pretty deadly. So running through a deck is pretty hard. I don't think I've ever done it, but this is a winning condition. You lose by a multiple of ways. First of all, if the players die, you also have hit points. You start with 10, unless something else says otherwise. So when both players, or more if there are more than 2, reach 0 hit points, you lose. Then you are protecting Gravehold, your base. It's a life dial with, depending on what you're playing, around 30 hit points. And if that runs out, you also lose. And then every boss might have a specific lose condition for you that you need to have to apply to that. The way rounds are structured is there is this turn order deck where you shuffle the boss's card 2 times, and then depending on the number of the player's cards. In a 2-player game we're currently running, you shuffle 2 cards of player 1 and 2 cards of player 2, and you shuffle them all together, and then you flip one. That means you're not playing me, Ayub, and then the boss, and so on. It can be Ayub, boss, Nick, and it can be really random like that. Whenever it's your turn, you simply deck building style. You play all the cards from your hand, and any you didn't play, you save, and then you drop to 5. Whenever you play a spell, you put in one of your open breaches, and then at the start of the next turn, you have the casting phase where you cast the spell and you deal the damage to the boss or any minions it might have. Then there are gems, which are the money in the deck building game. So you play all your money, you buy what you want to buy, whatever you buy goes into the discard pile, and then at the end of your turn, all your gems go into your discard pile. And then you have the relics. Relics can have various effects. They can give you money, they can give you damage, they can give you whatever. What else you can do on your turn besides buying cards? And the lineup is static, just like Dominion. You will select some piles at the beginning of the game, and there's like a huge selection of piles. And you will add them, and you'll buy from them. There are 9 cards in the lineup, if I'm not mistaken. And then on your turn, you also have an ultimate ability that charges up by using charges. You need 2 money to buy a charge, and every character has a different amount of charges to charge their ultimate. So you can also use that if it's open, if it's ready with the charges. Finally, you can start opening your or your allies' breaches, and you can also spend money to first make breaches cheaper and then finally open them. And some breaches might have special abilities. For example, the 3rd and 4th breach by default in the game we're playing now have +1 damage on your spells on those breaches. So that's also pretty cool. Later down the campaign games and later down the legacy games, other things happen that lets you do other things with your money and your damage, but we won't get into spoilers here. So that is the player's turn. The boss's turn is pretty simple. The first thing he does is he activates any card he already has out, and that can be powers, where they activate and do something powerful, and that is also minions, that they mostly do damage to us in the Gravehold. Every boss has a unique ability called Unleash, and cards will trigger it, and each Unleash is related to what the boss does, and it's usually pretty powerful and pretty bad for us. After he activates all the cards they have, and they all go from order, from oldest to newest, that's how they activate, then the boss will draw a single card from the top of their deck and will activate it. And that card, as I mentioned, can be a minion, can be a power, and finally it can be an attack. An attack is a one-time thing, you resolve it. For example, player 1 takes 3 damage, Gravehold takes 7 damage, the boss unleashes twice. You do that, and then the card goes into the discard pile. And that's pretty much how the boss functions. Extremely straightforward, I will say. Extremely straightforward, but extremely deadly. I've been reading online that people find this game easy. I don't know how. We got destroyed in the first Aeon's End Legacy campaign. I played with our buddy on the podcast, Chris. And so far in our legacy game, Aeon's End Legacy of Gravehold, things have been going interesting. Yes, that's a very short review of Aeon's End. Ayub, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I just wanna... I mean, you already mentioned the thing with the deck building, that it's like 9 stacks, kind of like in Dominion, and that you can exchange it back and forth a bit. It almost feels like me... I know, of course, it's not a deck construction, but it almost feels like deck construction. I'm picking this because we're planning that I'm going to buy that, and we're planning that you're going to buy that, which is also kind of interesting. And yeah, of course, the mechanic of never shuffling. Yeah, it's been pretty cool so far. Should we jump into some of the things that we like, dislike, and so forth?
Yeah.
So the general system, I'm just gonna jump into some of the things we said here so far. So, we have the turn order, for example. I don't know if I've ever seen this in any other game.
I also don't think so.
And so far, personally, I like it. But I can see that I wouldn't like it to happen in all my games.
Yeah.
But I like that one game does this.
Yes.
The worst case scenario has not happened, but it could happen that for example, the enemy boss takes 4 turns in a row. The bottom 2 of the stack, you shuffle again, and the first 2, right?
That can happen.
That could happen. But that also maybe mean you were extremely unlucky or very bad at shuffling. And also, if it did happen, it will also mean you will have a lot of turns afterwards, right? But still, it would feel... And I think that's so interesting. But at the moment, I'm at the point where I would say I like it. It brings this... I've been sitting in some of the games, go like, Nick is shuffling and flipping, and go like, me, because I want to have a turn up, like, and that's exciting. It's almost like push your luck without, it's just a turn order. It's like not push your luck because you're not making any choice, but it kind of feels like that a bit. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, it's definitely fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely don't want it in all my games, not in 1,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, when it works, it feels amazing. But when you're punished, it feels so punishing that makes me think, man, why didn't it just use like a regular turn order and be done with? But no, I'm enjoying it. Of course, when it rexes, but it's part of the game and I'm completely fine with it.
Yeah.
And it's, unpredictability, man. It's a part of the game. Yeah, sure. Let's sure.
Interestingly enough, although this could mean that there will be a long time for your turn, it almost makes me feel like they're shorter because, let's say, for example, you play very fast. You don't have this knowledge. Okay, it's the boss, then it's a you, then it's me. It could be you again. So even though you don't know, you're kind of waiting. And if it does end up being one of those times where everybody's playing twice before you again, it's only towards the end you go like, okay, and it's been some time now, right? So I feel like that mental foreshadowing of knowing it's going to be slow kind of goes away. All right, then we talked a little bit about it together when we talked about another deck building game, having something inside the game that says, you know what, if you don't want to use your money for what you see, you can use your money for some other ability.
Yeah.
Super nice. Use 2 of the in-game currency, I'm just going to call it money while we talk about it here, to get a charge.
Yeah.
That's
very cool.
nice.
Very cool.
Also, once you are towards your special ability, you might even want to get that charge, even though you want cards and can afford those cards. So
you're incentivized to. Yeah.
Yeah. The more charges you have, the more you want to get those last charges, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
also with the unlocking the breaches, also another way.
Exactly.
And I'm pretty sure there's going to be other ways down the line to spend money, Aether. So yeah, exciting, very good. When deck building, I mean, most recent deck builders do that, give you more choices how to use your money. So I think game design has evolved to a good point.
And then the thing that you just mentioned now with the breaches and focusing, so that's also super nice. You can flip those so you can cast more spells. The fact that the game says when you cast a spell, you don't cast it, you prepare it for your next turn.
Exactly.
In the beginning, I thought that was annoying, but now it's kind of cool.
Part of the game.
The way it works,
Exactly.
You set it up and you'll start planning. And I actually think that part enhances the co-op even more.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you look and you can see, okay, Nick is going to cast that, so I'm going to do it. And you talk together way more.
Yeah.
A lot of the cards also.
And they've put that thing also on many of the cards that your ally must have this for you to do this. If your ally has this, do this, and your ally against that, which is...
And that makes us talk together. Hey, do you want me to discard this if you do that? And kind of, I'm not going to say totally removes the fact of having like a quarterback, but you need to talk together a lot. And so that feels pretty good. And it actually is a game where it feels like co-op is needed like a lot. You can't just be like, I'm building my deck and doing this, and we really need to
100%
talk about it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and the different abilities of the characters so far, we haven't seen that many characters, but man, they seem so different. And we know there's a lot more.
Yes.
We seen it in the box and stuff, but just I think we had choices of 6
so far, yes.
And they don't seem similar at all.
And that goes about Aeon's End Legacy of Gravehold, keep in mind.
Yeah.
That has the different characters. Aeon's End Legacy, you were building your character from scratch, so which was also cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, these characters... They look so cool, man.
So,
all right.
Yeah. Who is it for, Nick? Who is Aeon's End Legacy for?
Me. No. Aeon's End Legacy is definitely for people that love legacy games. People that love deck building games will enjoy it. I think that if you are an OG Dominion lover, you're going to appreciate what this game is doing. And if you are, let's say, a couple of friends that meet a few times and want to have something co-op running in the background, I think Aeon's End, the Legacy of Gravehold in particular, is a very good one. There is a very small setup and teardown. You have to read a little bit, but not to an annoying point like other games we've played. I think it fits like a sweet, sweet spot, and I really, really, really enjoy that.
Yeah. I think it's also, because to begin with, it is a deck building game, then it feels like it could be for quite a lot of people. It's not like a huge board with many different rules. It does have the legacy aspect where you need to be able to know that part, and we'll talk more about that later in the episode when we talk about legacy and campaign games in general. But other than that, I'd also think it's for like a medium game group. Even hardcore gamers will enjoy it too. So,
and I can see the difficulty is like 3.46, so it's considered like beefy.
Exactly. Lengthwise, I will say a general game takes, I also looked at what I noted down, around an hour. But of course, if it's like a super complicated boss and you need to read a lot of stuff about it and understand it, that might take longer. And of course, it can also take shorter, like when we got out kicked and it took 19 minutes.
Man.
So,
yeah,
there's also that option.
Definitely. I think player count definitely matters for playing time in this game. Solo game, because you can definitely play solo, it can take like 20, 25 minutes. And most of the times, you will get your butt kicked. So don't worry about that. And the more players you are, I think it will take more because it's a co-op in the sense that you must talk and communicate. So that always adds a little bit of a time. Not a bad time, but just adds time to the overall gameplay.
Yeah. How do you feel about the artwork?
Artwork is okay. It's not something that pops out.
Yeah.
But it is something that we've been used to in games. You know, it has this like sci-fi vibe with a little bit of swords and shields and spells. The boss are cool looking, like super cool looking. But overall, I would say the artwork is decent. Nothing that pops out.
Yeah.
The bosses are just very cool. What do you think?
I think there are like two sections of it. So you have a lot of the general like money cards and stuff like that. They are like extremely basic. But then you have like the different spells. I think some of them really reminds me like of like, I don't know, almost like my old computer days and stuff, or like playing other stuff like that. And I think it looks pretty cool, especially when you have some characters and they have one or two cards and you can see those.
Yeah.
It fits the characters, and the character artwork is also pretty nice, I think. So I will actually say it really is super fitting for the theme of it. So yeah, it's a thumbs up for me. It's not the most amazing I've ever seen, but I do enjoy it.
All right. I will say at this point that the game is designed by Sidney Engelstein, Nick Little, and Kevin Riley, and published by Indie Boards and Cards and Indie Game Studios. Talking about Legacy of Gravehold, but I think the designers are the same for all the Aeons and games. The game is very modular. It has so many expansions that you can just mix and match. And what you do when I say mix and match is you every time you want to play, you just pick one of your mages and then you pick one of the bosses. You set them down and you fight it. And that's actually pretty fun. And if you are a solo gamer, I 100% recommend you giving that a try. Not necessarily diving into the legacy of the game, but just, grabbing a few Aeon Zens, the different cards, grabbing a few bosses, play them around. And if you like it, then you can dive deeper. And after you finish both of the legacy campaigns, you have a perfectly usable game that can be used to play the game, and it's pretty good, I will say.
Yeah. I have one last note I just want to mention. I think that we talked about maybe in an earlier episode as well. I've found a lot of other deck building games before I ever tried Dominion, so I was never a big fan of Dominion. And in the beginning, I did think that it was a little bit annoying that it would be like this, but I actually think it needs to be like that for it not to be like super random or lucky and unlucky what you get against the boss and stuff like that. And as I said, the whole construction part you do before a game is kind of important and feels nice for this. So yeah, so that's just if you out there usually prefer a card row, even though I do that as well, I actually think I'm happy in this game that is not there.
Yeah, and no, I'm a big fan of the fixed card rows.
Yeah.
Whenever I find them in games, I'm happy. So this definitely clicks. It lets you plan a little bit better, and I like strategizing.
All right. Overall, Nick, how are you liking the game so far?
A lot. I was a huge fan of Aeon's End Legacy, even though we got our butts kicked, and I'm also a huge fan of Aeon's End Legacy Gravehold. I think it does a few things better than the original, but it's still very early to judge.
Yeah.
It just feels like the character progression is a bit better, the options are better, the bosses are a little bit, I will say, easier for now, but we're still getting our butts kicked, so it doesn't matter. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm also enjoying it a lot. I'm, of course, gifted with the fact that you are managing the boss and a lot of the setup and stuff like that, so I just get to enjoy it. So yeah, I'm really having a good time with it. I think it's a cool game.
All right. More on that on later episodes when we finish the campaign and die. All right.
All right.
Shall we take it up the main part of the episode?
Yes.
I will briefly explain what a campaign game is, what a legacy game is, and then we'll take it from there. We'll discuss some games we've played together, separate, and stuff like that, and see the main differences. So, and I'm going by definition here.
Yeah.
A campaign game is a game with a series of connected scenarios or sessions, often featuring an overarching story and character progression. However, and that's the big difference with the legacy game, the game is fully replayable, fully resettable, and you can play it again. I mean, some of the most obvious and famous campaign games include Gloomhaven and Descent. It's like the two biggest campaign games. Legacies, on the other part, are games that permanently change as we play. You might add stickers, you might tear up some cards, don't do that. You might unlock new components, you might alter your rules, and usually legacy games are not replayable, although there have been some exceptions in years now. A legacy game, I want to say, is almost always a campaign game, but it's not the other way around. A campaign game is not a legacy game. So that is like if you could put a definition on them.
Yes, and also there is a permanent and irreversible changes to the game state that carry from the future, over to future games in the legacy part, right? So that's pretty cool. Do you? Maybe that's too early to ask. I'm gonna ask that later on, but I'm just gonna put it up in there now. If you have an overall, I do prefer legacy over campaign or campaign over legacy. But we'll talk about that afterwards.
Sure.
I think that's...
You want to break down some games now, or?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with the elephant in the room, the big daddy of campaign games. Let's talk about Gloomhaven.
Mm-hmm.
We've actually played Gloomhaven quite a bit. I don't know how long we've been playing it. You might have that answer, but we played it a lot. We played a lot of scenarios. And we did a 3-player campaign. We didn't finish it because our third person left Denmark. How did you was it your first campaign game, or have you played something before that?
No, I'm pretty sure that was my first campaign game.
How did you feel about... General, I want to hear how you felt about the whole campaign thing, not specifically Gloomhaven.
Mm-hmm.
Just how did campaign feel for somebody who hadn't played a campaign game before?
All right, buckle up.
Dress.
I think I overall like it, but I also think there are like mixed feelings with it, because obviously the game can feel different, and some sessions can be super nice and some can be more annoying, and they can go in whatever direction. Probably my biggest issue is the idea of, I usually like to make sure things get finished, and knowing from the beginning that it needs to be finished annoys me. That might not happen, and so on and so forth. And I think that's one of the two main reasons why I'm stayed away for a lot of legacy and campaigns for a long time before that, because I don't know, what if I don't like it and I feel like I have to finish it because it's start, right? So stuff like that. But other than that, I think the idea, I'm not talking Gloomhaven now, just campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's been growing more and more on me in general, and also this year, especially stuff is happening, right? I'm playing stuff I'm not supposed to play, and it's all good. Yeah. How about you?
Well, I think it's no surprise that I love campaign games. I love the commitment they offer, but what I've been struggling with, especially since moving to Denmark, is finding people equally committed to them. And I know it can take a lot of time, and I know that the board game hobby in general incentivizes you buying a game, playing it once or twice, leaving it in the shelf for 2 years, and buying and playing the next new thing, and then doing the same and playing again the next new and the next new and the next new. So I know why campaign games are hard to come out. I've tried to dive into solo games, but I've been finding that a bit hard as well, mainly because of my time scheduling and me traveling all the time and stuff like that. But I am a huge enjoyer of campaign games. I love an overarching story. I love series that are 10 and 12 season long. That's why movies is not my favorite activity. I want to have, this continuation. I want to see the character development. I want to see the progression. And that's generally something I like. That's something I love in books. I always read books that are like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 books, not a singleton books. Same with series. It's all the same with games. And I've played a lot of campaigns and not a lot of legacy games, but I've played a lot of campaign games. And most of them, as I can see here, I've finished, with the exception of, we'll talk about them. We'll talk about them later. Yeah, but yeah, I'm a big fan of campaign and legacy games.
Yeah. Do you wanna? I kind of wanna talk about like what can be pros and cons.
Yeah, of course.
And I almost feels like since we started out this way, you should start with the cons, and I should start with the pros.
Oh
because
shit!
We're kind of pushing each other in the other.
Okay,
end, right?
Sure. Yeah, you wanna hit us with the pros?
Cool.
And are you doing pros of campaigns and legacies in general, or are you going to take it differently?
I think separately.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let's start with
campaign, since we just talked about it, right?
Let's do it.
So since it's campaign and legacy, I'm also just gonna, some of the pros are gonna be connected to how legacy is as well, and stuff like that, right? So of course the progression part of a campaign always feels nice, that you feel like, okay, I did this yesterday, today I can do this and that, and so on and so forth. One of the games that I'm also been playing is the Shards of Infinity campaign, and it does feel nice that it's a deck builder where now I have some more stuff for the next game. So that's pretty cool. I also noted that mistakes can be fixed, and although, of course, ideally you're not making mistakes at all, but just for me to know, okay, I can just go back and replay it the right way, makes me feel more relaxed about it. And I know that's probably a personal thing, but I hate the idea of I can put a sticker somewhere and it's wrong, and now the game is ruined. Like, it's not ruined, but that idea. So I do like the idea that that kind of can, you're not stuck in that sense. And also for the campaigns I tried, it seems like once you're started, the rest of the system is minor changes or something changes, which is really cool. So that means once you're into it, you're getting a little new stuff, but you are still doing the same thing. So your brain doesn't need to explode for you to explore more stuff. So that's pretty cool. And players can change as well. In that sense, in the campaign, you're not necessarily stuck in that sense. So that was some pros that I thought about for campaign.
Cons. None. No, I'm just kidding. I already mentioned it. I mentioned it as my personal feeling, but in general, commitment is a big thing that campaign games do. And as we grow older and older, our time is very valuable and very limited. We know we need to work, we need to take care of family, we need to take care of a million things before actually sitting down and playing a campaign game. So definitely commitment is a big con. The second thing is that some campaigns, and especially those big, chunky, heavy campaign games, can become really expensive. So, for example, even just getting a copy of Gloomhaven would be really, really expensive when it came out. And that's the same right now with Kickstarter and GameFound. All the big games are really, really expensive. Of course, you can get some smaller ones, but of course, you will not get the same experience out of it. The third thing, and that also applies to most of these big campaigns that you like to play, is set up and tear down. That's, unless you have a dedicated table, those that close and you can leave it at the bottom, then set up and tear down can become really, really tedious. Not a problem for me, but a general con. And then finally, playtime. And the fact that you need to dedicate 90 hours, it might not be something that people are willing to do. So now I realize there are a lot of cons actually to campaign games. And Ayub didn't say so many pros, so play campaign games. They're good.
Yeah, but we can switch over now if you want to add some pros, and I can add some cons. Or do you want to move on to the legacy part?
I think all joking aside, I think you covered the base pros. What I would say as a pro for me is the fact that you get this story that progresses, and that feels, in my personal opinion, it feels amazing. It's a very nice feeling, and every campaign game does it differently. Some do it more, some do it less. But if you're like a fan of, continuing stories, if you're reading One Piece, for example, then a campaign game is perfect for you. You've been dedicated for 1,000 chapters.
All right. Legacy.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, the first pro I'm going to mention here is something that for me is first and foremost a pro, but sometimes can even be a con. But anyways, is that the game can evolve. And that's so cool, you know? It's cool that this is not the same game I played yesterday. It's a completely different, not completely, but completely different game. And that's super cool. I think the story is often even better than campaigns from the little thing that I tried, just because that, you know, you can get this whole changing aspect as well. And then also this sense of accomplishment. Okay, I managed to, especially if you are diving more into the story or whatever, I managed to beat this or save my brother or whatever the thing is. Or even if you get to the finish point of something, you'll be like, okay, I did this. I think that's pretty cool. And some things that most games don't necessarily give. Yeah. And I mean, they're similar, some of the pros, right, with the campaign and stuff. But this is what I want to highlight for now.
Cons, I think the obvious one is that legacy games are not very green, with the aspect that you can only play them once. And then what do you do with the box? Do you keep it? Do you buy a reset pack to play it again? Do you throw it away? Also, tearing up cards. Some people might not be a big fan of that. You're not obligated to do it, but when the rulebook tells you to, you know how that adrenaline hits, and you're like, oh,
it's my hat.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think the big con is the fact that they can only be played once. That is like, if I could make one plea to legacy creators, is please add a reset pack into the game. Integrate it already, so we can at least play it twice from the beginning. Apart from that, same cons that apply to campaigns. Commitment, time, all the same things. Not much different, because as we said, legacy campaigns are legacy games, you see I even said it, are almost always a campaign game. And from what I have in front of me, I can see that all of them are actually campaign games. I don't know if I agree with the point you made on story specifically. I found the story of legacy games, with of course a goated exception, to be a little bit subpar to the campaign games, but still it is there. Yeah. And it is, I think the story in legacy games is enough. You know, because most people that play legacy games are mostly board gamers. They're not like a huge fans of storytelling so they add just enough story to keep them intrigued, and enough story to keep people like me saying, okay, there is a story here. Fine, I accept. I think at least that's my personal opinion, of course.
Yeah. And I'm sure in both categories there are probably some that have very good stories, some that have very bad. So this is just from my opinion of the few things that I tried here with that. One more thing, little con for Legacy is it can be really hard to, if you're not sure about a rule, to find out, because you can't look it up online because it's spoilers. Then you read something else you're not supposed. You know, that whole thing can be a little bit annoying. Where normally in this hobby you can find a video or a thread on BGG that explains it. And
I think I want to give a shout out to a game that's not even officially. I think it's now been delivered. It's called Iridia. The Path We Made thread. It's a new campaign game that's coming out, and they've done, listen to this. In every single card, they put the FAQ on the back of the card.
Oh.
That is insane game design to me. That is crazy. I wish more games did. I haven't tried it, of course. I don't know almost nothing about the game. So, but just this little fact sounds so cool and so helpful.
That sounds very helpful, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're sleeving, you need to have the see-through sleeves.
Yeah.
That's what we always do.
We always do that in board games, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. What are we playing together in both Legacy and Campaign?
All right, let's see here. I can see for campaigns, and I don't know if that qualifies as a campaign. It probably doesn't, but I put it down nonetheless. We've started the Lord of the Rings, a trick-taking game. Yeah, which is a game that has progressive scenarios, so somebody could definitely qualify it as a campaign.
I think I would.
Yeah. We play it as 3 players. We played the first 6 scenarios, and there are 18, plus a bonus scenario we got from, We're playing the Invincible deck building game, which is definitely a campaign game. We are 4 sessions in, 5 if you count our last.
Yeah.
That is actually, I'm very intrigued. This is a very cool game. It's very unique. It's a back building game that's, I like it very much. We have been playing Gloomhaven, but we stopped it because, as I mentioned, our 3rd player left. We were 20-something scenarios in, I want to say.
Yeah, we played a little bit over 50 hours.
Okay, cool. And then I'm talking about the together games, right?
Yeah.
And you will add if I forget something. We are playing the Aeon's End Legacy of Gravehold, of course.
Yes.
This is the game we've been actually talking about earlier. And we haven't started, but want to and have it on here. We have Charterstone as well, but we haven't started it yet. What did I miss?
You missed, for as far as I know, only one, and that is the Nianfar.
Oh, yes. Yes, that is also a campaign
We're
game.
also like halfway through, I think.
Yes. Let me write that down. What are you playing?
Other than that, I'm not playing a lot, but I am playing the Kingdom Legacy game, and I'm definitely need to continue that very, very soon.
Yes, my friend, you should. What are you doing?
I want to.
Ulrich, tell him, man.
And then I also been playing the Shards of Infinity Saga Collection together with my girl. That's also been very nice. And with the same person, I'm also playing the Pandemic Legacy Season 1. I did already get to Season 2, so that once it's done, we're ready. I'm about halfway through that. And I think that's it. If I really, really wanted to push it, I could say that Edge of Darkness, say that the different maps is like a little campaign, but
It is not.
it's just a bit of a cheat. But anyways, that's what it is. How about you?
Okay, let's see. I'll talk a little bit about what I've played, and I will say where I am in each of them. First of all, the Imperial Settlers solo campaign. I've played it twice, finished it both times. 10 out of 10. Then, of course, Pathfinder. I don't even want to count how many times I finished that campaign. As I mentioned in previous episodes, 4 different campaigns. We've played them all. I mean, the person I'm playing Pathfinder with, this is the person you should find. This is commitment. We are very committed. Seventh Continent. I've played a lot of times. I don't know if this qualifies as a campaign or as a legacy. I would say campaign because nothing changes, but I've been playing that. I've played 6 or 7 times. Me and my old roommate, we never won once. So yeah, Fate Flip Washed Ashore is a small campaign game I've played 3 or 4 times. Also got my butt kicked. And then there was these big D&D games, Castle Ravenloft, Legend of Drizzt, and Wrath of Azardalon. Not the best games, based on 4th edition. I finished them all once and then I scraped them for the miniatures. Heroes of Might and Magic 3, the board game, came with 7 integrated campaigns. I played through all of them. And then Legacy of You, a game we got from our friend Ulrich. I also played and finished that as well. Gloomhaven, Buttons and Bugs, Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion are 2 that I've left in the middle, and I don't think, at least Jaws of the Lion, I'm not inclined to continue, but Buttons and Bugs, I think I am going to continue. Hadrian's Wall, that campaign is also very hard. I'm in level 3 for some time now. I can't seem to be able to progress. And then finally, I have Midara that I haven't started, but I really, 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 really want to get to at some point. As far as Legacies goes, Aeons and Legacy I've finished, Kingdom Legacy I've finished twice. I finished Pandemic Legacy Season 1 and Season 2. And then I played Betrayal Legacy and dropped it. And then Charterstone, 2 levels away from finishing it, and we dropped it. And we also have, as I mentioned, Charterstone here, and we also have purchased Werewolf Legacy back in Greece, and we are trying to find a big enough group. Maybe in the summer, we're going there for a wedding. Maybe we'll be able to finally get it done.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know enough about the game, so I'm just asking in case it's because you missed it. Mage Knight is a...
Mage Knight is not a campaign game.
Okay.
No.
I thought it might be.
Every game of Mage Knight is like its own mini campaign,
okay.
let's say. Yeah.
All right.
There is a campaign, custom-made campaign. I've downloaded the rules for it. I might do it at some point, but
then otherwise you could pick and choose scenario.
Exactly.
Oh, we did Ascension Tactics as well.
That counts. Yes, Ascension Tactics. We did that. Man, that was in one day like that.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. So and we should try that again where we up the difficulty.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Have you finished any campaign or legacy games?
Finished. I mean, just the thing we just mentioned now was the Ascension Tactic. I haven't really finished Kingdom Legacy, but I finished the core game and the first expansion. So I need to finish the last 2 expansions. And we are very close with the... We're halfway with Pandemic, but we're very close with the Shards of Infinity.
Cool.
We're not missing a lot there. But this boss we're fighting right now, we just keep losing. It's crazy.
Oh, damn. Can I run back to the cons a little bit?
Yeah.
Yes. Campaign games. They have something that many people consider a con. When you lose, you might have to replay the scenario. While legacy games will let you replay the scenario maybe once, and then they have a fail-forward system.
True.
Many campaigns, especially the recent one, have a fail-forward system, but the more classic ones do not have a fail-forward. And many people especially I also heard other podcasters talk about it, that they simply say, "Oh, we lost. Okay, we'll treat it as a win and we'll move forward."
Yeah.
So
That is definitely true. I agree with you that most will see it as a con. I can see some few scenarios that it can be a pro that, you finally, of course, not if you have to do it 10 times, but if you're changing your strategy and that actually works.
Yeah.
But yeah.
In a perfect world with infinite time, it wouldn't be a con. Just more playtime.
Yeah.
But in this world, it's rough. I want to add something like, in the 90 minute of a football game that something comes up, I want to add something like that.
Do it.
I want to talk a little bit about roguelike games.
Yes.
Yeah, because they are pretty recently introduced to board gaming, and they are a genre of video games where you play, lose or die, and then you restart, but you keep your progress, if that makes sense. And some board games have been doing it in the past year, and that is, of course, Slay the Spire and Dead Cells, and also I know of Warp's Edge, a solo roguelike that I really want to play. And you could say that they resemble a campaign or a legacy in the sense that you unlock things and you make your characters stronger. It's just that they don't have the story element, and that's what maybe keeps them from actually being or feeling like campaign or legacy games. So if you take a campaign and legacy game, remove the story aspect, and have just the progression and the replaying, that's where roguelikes and roguelites fall under. And I want to say that if you are a fan of campaign or legacy games and you're in them not for the story but for what they represent, I think that roguelikes will fall right into your alley, I feel. And I've played Slay the Spire and Dead Cells a lot, and I think that they're both excellent board games for what it accounts to.
Yeah, I didn't try Slay the Spire that much, just one session, but I did try a few times Dead Cell, and that definitely hits better for me. I really thought that was a cool game too. And right now both me and Nick are making lists of this Shelders game, which one we want to play more, and Dead Cells was something that I added. Nick haven't seen the list yet, but yeah. All right.
Cool discussion. Man,
Yeah, awesome.
I want to play a legacy game.
Well, we'll definitely continue our Gravehole legacy, and you will hear in future episodes if we like it even more or like it even less.
And please, for the love of whatever is holy, if you have played Aeon Sent and you find it easy, please, I beg of you, send me a message, because we're not amateur gamers here. We play a lot of board games, okay? Send us a message and tell us how. What are we doing wrong? What did you do when you found it super easy? Maybe we're missing a rule. Probably we're not. I've spent so much time reading those rules, man. Instagram or email, please do that and let me know why am I so bad at this game. All right, ready for
flying?
Yes, I'm always ready to fly, man.
Yeah. What you can decide now. I feel like I always decide. Do you want to be first or second?
I want to ask you first.
Hidden.
Because it's the funniest part for me. All right, 5 on the fly, ladies and gentlemen, once again. The first game for Ayub this week is a game I like, a game I don't think you like, and it is Discworld.
Yeah.
Good old Martin Wallace.
I didn't like that.
You hear that, Mr. Wallace? He didn't. I did.
4.
Disgrace. All right. Another D game, a game I actually played yesterday, and it is Dice Forge.
Oh. Yeah, that's, I haven't played it a lot. That's a medium solid, I will say, so we'll put it at 3.
Dice Forge at 3. What about Cartisans? Is the game we played at Essen, the Biblios lookalike.
It's not that it's bad, but I think I see other games that do the same better, and therefore I don't see myself playing this. So 5.
Now we're at a point that with what you've done, this game might actually take it, and it is Paladins of the West Kingdom.
That is a good game, though.
I know.
And with what we have left, we gotta put it on 1.
Yes, I'm so excited. Vote for Ayub this week. And I think you'll be happy with what's left that you didn't put it on 2, and that is Sushi Go Party.
Okay, 2. But I actually really do like Sushi Go Party, but of course not more than that.
Yeah. Okay, so Paladins of the West Kingdom, Sushi Go Party, Dice Forge, Dice World, and Cartisans.
Okay, that was pretty solid. I think that almost how I would have put it, so perfect.
Yes, I could not disagree more. But I think that for you, I think that's what you would have put it probably, yeah. All right,
you're first. I think this is one of the first game I ever played in your old house,
Oh.
and that is Corrosion.
Oh, damn. How did that come back? Yeah, I remember that game. It felt good, but something was missing, I feel.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it on 3. Let's not be too rough with it.
All right. And this has been mentioned a little bit lately, and that is Shards of Infinity.
Oh. If you didn't buy the Saga Collection, I would put it on 5. But I've been reading up on Saga Collection, and it looks cool. I think I'll put it above Corrosion. I'll put it second.
All right. Then I don't know anything about this. Clans of Caledonia.
Oh, that was a cool game, but I only played it once. I definitely want to play it more. I cannot in good conscience put it first. But we should try it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good game. I'll put it in 4. Just because I've only played it once, people. Don't hang me.
And remind me, I have to tell you about a game afterwards. A solo game, so not for me, but just for you.
Oh, cool.
Right about it. Yeah. Your next is Artificium.
Damn. I want to love that game.
Yeah. Right,
It's a game about resource conversion.
Yeah, we
It's
tried it,
yeah. It's something that I really love doing in board games. I'll give it the first position, man. I'm not gonna put it 5th.
Okay.
Oh, Terraforming Mars.
It's not Terraforming Mars.
Okay.
But
Oh my
I
god.
do like the last game you
Okay.
had, though, and that is Istanbul.
Frap. Yeah. Once again, wrong list, but once again, my homies got me. I'm not afraid. All right, so my list was Artificium, Swords of Infinity, Saga Collection. Not Saga Collection. Corrosion, Clans of Caledonia, and Istanbul. Okay.
Alright.
Very bad list, but a very good person.
Yeah, well, dear listeners, take that into account, what he said. And let us know what you think about changing up our episodes a little bit more. We'll still have the recap of the month. It does look like from the feedback we get that's the most solid.
Yes.
And then we might play around with our other things.
Exactly. I think that for now, at least for the next few letters, we'll continue the letters because some very good letters are coming up and I'm really excited to talk about those. Patreon. You can find the link in our Instagram description. Ayub made his first Patreon episode. Ayub's Journal Part 1.
All right.
You should definitely go and listen to that.
Gotta start rolling.
Yes. And then, you know what, you love it, Instagram and email. We're now fully active on Board Game Geek. You can find us through different forums, Greek forums, Danish forums. We also have our own guild, 9942. We also have our collections there. You might have a look and you might add your collection as well. And that was everything from my part.
Yeah. I have nothing else to add. You said perfectly.
Well, then we will see you next week. This was Nick.
This was Ayub.
And you were listening to the Board Game Nerd Podcast. See you next time.